Did you get enough sleep after your marathon?
Yeah, it was all right. Got enough. Could have used more, but it's fine. We're here. We're present.
We can keep it short, so it's easier for me to edit.
Can we keep it short? We'll see.
Yes, it's all about the Pokemon, right? It's all up to you.
You can always just censor me again. It's all good.
Yeah, it works like a charm. Like, man, it keeps the thing down to a cool hour and a few minutes.
So, what do we got for today?
So here's my starting question. What if everyone looked exactly the same, barring how they change as they grow older? Let's say this is the society that we're in, where instead of individuality, everybody looks exactly the same as everybody else.
I don't know how prevalent they are, but I have heard theories that in the distant future, if we were to last that long, we would be rather homogenized.
Okay, okay. And these are founded theories. They're not just conspiracy theories.
Like I said, I have no idea how prevalent they are.
Oh, okay.
We'd be hairless. Our hair gives us a lot of our look.
Why would we? So that's one of the stipulations. We would be hairless. Interesting. Okay. Is it because we don't really need hair, evolutionary speaking, now?
Yeah, we don't really need hair. We've lost a lot of it over the years, centuries, millennia.
So I'm ahead of the curve, is what you're saying.
That's right. You're already.
I'm a highly evolved form of human. Ooh.
That's right. So there you go. But yeah, so we'd be rather hairless, and I can't remember the full details of it, but I have seen theory suggesting that. I guess it wouldn't really matter. I could see it kind of tying into it maybe being an evolutionary necessity in the sense that if everybody was homogenized, you wouldn't need specific attractions in physical regards.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking from the point of view of homogeneity. If everything is the same, then it's prone to the same exact illnesses. So, like, let's say there's some plague, it'll wipe everybody out as opposed to wiping a certain fraction of people out. I guess how far do you want to go into the homogeneity? Like, is it only the appearance that's the same? Is it the mind that's the same? Is it the DNA that's the
Well,
same?
no, it wouldn't be the mind. That's not even possible. I think
No, I just mean
physical
like
traits can certainly.
like I guess personality and all that other stuff would be the same. Would it be the same is the question.
Well, no, again, it can't be. I don't think you can breed that out of people. You can't breed, free will and
So people could still put on makeup if they want to look different. They could still
Yeah.
dye their bald head,
yeah,
put some tattoos.
yeah. I
on there.
imagine. I imagine if everybody did look the same, that people would find ways to differentiate themselves. I'm sure they'd be artificial ways, right? Like not
I mean, people already do that though, right? A lot of.
right, but people are already very naturally different looking to a degree.
I wonder if to an animal, because you know how sometimes we'll look at a couple dogs and be like, these are identical. They look exactly the same. And I wonder if, well, and whereas to them, they're probably looking really different to each other. So I'm wondering if other animals see us as like, they're all those humans, they look alike.
Yeah, probably the answer is yes. But I don't think a lot of animals, like you say, dogs think, they look different to each other. I think they're more smell based.
So let's assume that all the humans smelled alike. Let's say everybody in the future smells exactly the same.
Yeah, but we're not smell based, so it doesn't
Wintergreen.
matter. The only thing that would affect is like, oh, you don't have to wear perfume anymore because
No, animals.
smell
Animals
fine.
would, because okay, let's put it this way. Let's say in the future, all the animals are still, they're chilling like the way they are now. They're all different. They're all distinct, unique. But the humans are all the same. So somehow, evolutionarily, only the humans became homogenized. Everything else has stayed different. I just wonder, how would they? Because it's like, let's say it's only they only use the smell or the appearance to decide who's the owner. Let's say somebody owns a dog, but if that person looks and smells exactly the same as everybody else, is there really a concept of the dog having an owner? They could just go to anybody else and be like, oh, this is my owner. I can't tell.
I mean, dogs aren't really like that, but cats will do that. Not because they can't tell, but
Because they don't care.
because they don't care.
But still, with dogs, like, how could they tell? I guess it's more than just smell based, right? They probably have some way of knowing, some sixth sense.
You're talking if we were homogenized or now?
No, like if in the future, let's say dogs were still unique and were able to be kept as pets and all that, but every human looks exactly the same and smells exactly the same.
They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna. I don't know.
It's all hypothetical. We're all just dreaming about what could be.
I mean, I have no idea. I don't know enough about dogs to.
Okay, well, fair enough. It's not. It doesn't have to be about dogs. It could be about lizards as well.
I don't know enough about any animal to tell you how they identify humans. You'd have to ask a.
A dog.
You'd have to ask a dog.
Yeah, man, that's tough. I think someday they'll. I saw some news. I don't know if it was fake. You know how it is nowadays. But I saw some news saying that researchers are working on using AI to decipher animal speech to get patterns. You basically use pattern recognition with AI to decide like, oh, is what are they saying right now?
Nice.
Hey, I mean, Herb in The Simpsons did it. Remember? Herb
Exactly.
Powell
Yeah, with the
with the
baby. Yeah.
baby. I believe it could happen. I think it's theoretically, I think it's possible. I just don't know what they'll get out of it because I don't know how thoughtful some of the things that an animal says could be. Because a lot of times it's based on just instinct and what they want, right? It's not like they're imagining what will happen if all of them are homogenized in the future.
I don't understand how AI can grasp animal language when it doesn't even grasp nuances of human language. Like, how do you?
Well, I mean, I guess technically speaking, it could be that the animal language is actually easier, but it needs to be trained somehow.
Okay, well, I mean, this obviously presents other questions. How can a human train AI to identify meaning of animal sounds when literally no human has ever done that?
I think that's why they're working on it. I liken it to those dead languages that nobody has heard before and they need to like decipher them. And so they use they use just context. So like let's say it's like where again with the baby, let's say you have a baby that's saying something while there's a lollipop hanging in front of them. You can guess, okay, maybe it's this when it's that sound. And then if you hear that sound again, maybe it's that again. Now it's not perfect, of course, but it's a start, right? It's like it's a way to guess and check and see like is it coherent if you assume that that's what if you guess this, does it hold up in the long run?
But that's also assuming animal behaviors, which again, we have very little proper understanding of.
Right.
A good example is cats purring. Like, we don't have an entire understanding of how or even why they purr, and they purr in seemingly the same way in very many different situations. When they're hurt, when they're happy, like they'll sit on you and they'll purr, and you'll be like, oh, they're happy, right? But if they're hurt, they'll purr too. So what does purring actually mean? The problem is we attribute too much humanness to animals.
I agree.
And
I agree. But again, you got to start somewhere, right? I don't know. Like nobody seems to be getting any progress with understanding animals better. So maybe this is just yet another avenue they can experiment with. They could listen for the purrs and see how different they are depending on the situation. See, you could focus your AI on
and then you
cats
also
purring.
assume that everything. So going back to your baby example, you're also assuming that those sounds are universal. Like if a baby makes ah, da, 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 you're gonna assume every baby goes ah, da, da, in that situation, and they don't.
Yeah, but it's a different baby dialect. Maybe there's multiple. You're right. There could
There
be
is no
hundreds.
baby dialect. That's the thing, though, is that there is no dialect.
How do you know? I don't know. But
Like,
they make a lot of
babies
movies
don't
based
have
on
their
babies,
own language.
right? There's those movies where babies are like super intelligent, but people can't understand them.
And I think it's probably the same thing with a lot of lower life form animals, like like I said, cats and dogs. Like the way they communicate, what their barks and their meows say or whatever, probably doesn't even mean much to other dogs or cats beyond a very vague. Like birds have a very general, like we do know birds have a very general like warning system. Sometimes a normal tweet sounds different than a warning tweet. I don't know. I think AI is not going to do what it needs
if
to do.
you're saying if you brought an Asian dog into North America and you had to have a sit down conversation with some dog off the street in Toronto, you think that it wouldn't go well?
What I'm saying, no, that's not what I said. What I'm saying is there's no such thing as a conversation between dogs.
Well, how do you know? Maybe they chat, like, hey, look at this guy. You kidnapped me from...
I don't know. Nobody knows. But if there isn't, then this AI, and I would strongly believe that there isn't, there's nothing there for AI to figure out.
That's perfect. So it'll just hallucinate.
If there's nothing consistent, an AI is not going to figure it out. If there's nothing even remotely consistent, AI is not going to figure it out. And AI is certainly not going to figure it out when the humans don't even have building blocks to figure it out. I mean, that's the thing with AI is, the human doesn't have to know everything. I'm sure AI will certainly make advances, and they probably already have. I'm sure AI will make advances that humans can't figure out. Like if you look at what are those famous math puzzles?
Sudoku?
No, no, no.
Oh, that people can't figure out?
The famous math theorems, aren't there like 7 or 8 math theorems
The
that like,
millennium problems?
there you go, millennium problems. Maybe one day AI will be able to figure those out, or they might be able to figure out how to cure cancer or whatever, or how to edit DNA to eliminate, this disease or that disease or whatever. But that's all.
That's all basic stuff that.
But that's no. What I'm saying is that's all stuff that started with human building blocks. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure an AI could take human building blocks and build on it, but there are no human building blocks for animal speech.
We need the animals to create an AI.
Yeah, if the animals want to create an AI.
Ask them to do it. But we can't ask them. We need to somehow hint to them in our own special way that they got to get started on training their animal AI. AAI.
Now, there's probably some animals where we can do a little bit more with, like apes or dolphins or something, like smart animals, because they do seem to have their own thing between them. How deep it is, I think, is, like I said, still disputed.
Yeah, like if you take an Asian dolphin and you put it in the bay with a bunch of North American
dolphins. I don't know
anything
about this, but maybe.
I don't think anybody's done it, honestly. Seems like a lot of hassle, a lot of legal hoopla to jump through.
But there's probably more progress to be made with intelligent creatures than more basic creatures like dogs and cats.
Or babies.
Or babies. That's where I stand on that. But, I guess people won't not try.
You got to try.
The problem is, yeah, but you know what? You don't, though, because the problem is that some jackwazzer will come along and be like, oh, I did it. This is what this dog is saying, and everybody's going to buy into it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's true or not.
Exactly.
Everybody's going to buy into it.
But whoever's first is going to make a killing off it.
Well, you probably.
Again, it's like the baby translator that Herb made. It's great. Like, who wouldn't want to be the first to do that? Doesn't matter if it's correct. Babies can't tell you if it's correct, right?
That's true.
And the same with animals. So, man, this is a win-win situation. You're onto something there.
No. You're going to end up with, when I scroll through TikTok, I like to look at the animal videos, right? And you go into the comments of those animal videos, you'll always have people, saying what the cat or the dog or the whatever is doing is warning signs that they're going to fucking die next week, right? And then you get other people that say, this is extreme aggression and you need to train this out of them. And then you get other people that say, oh, that's so cute. And
it's all just two sides of the same coin.
It's going to make all the armchair animal behaviorists just friggin' crank their shit to 11.
Is there such a thing as a non-armchair animal behaviorist?
Yeah.
Is that actually a field of study?
We know there's certain ways that you can train a dog.
Oh, that's right, because you know like a dozen horse trainers. You told us this. So yeah,
No, we didn't.
I agree. Yeah. You know all about them.
I said horse owners. Never once said trainers.
They just own the horses? Wow. So the horses are so polite and trained already. They don't have to worry about training. That's impressive. Those are Niagara horses right there. Born and raised down by the falls.
I think you're conflating things to to a very close to insultingly degree on this.
What do you mean?
Just saying.
Insulting? What are you talking about? I think it's amazing that you know so many horse, what'd you say, owners.
No, I didn't say so many. I said I knew horse owners.
Okay. You're being very humble about it.
I never said a number. I never said
that's
anything beyond
so
that.
Humble.
I said I know horse owners. That's it. Anyways, yeah, so I don't know. That's where I'm at with AI and animals.
That makes sense.
I just don't want to see the TikTok spammed with all the newfangled stuff.
You don't want to see that video, but with the audio on top of it, which is simulating what the animal's saying.
Yeah, exactly. TikTok will do that on its own. It'll be wrong on purpose, and that's fine. It'll be funny or cute or whatever. But once people start taking it seriously,
all bets are off.
Then it's not as good. Yeah, the TikTok comments drive me nuts. You'll see like a dog and they'll be like, or a cat, and they'll be like, get your cat another cat. There's a thing called single cat dysmorphia super death megalomania syndrome. And I'm like, shut up. And then 6 other people will say the same thing. Oh, I heard of that. No, you fucking didn't, because he just made it out. He just pulled it out of his ass in this comment.
Yeah, they'll say like, "Oh yeah, my grandma died from that."
Yeah, every TikTok video, every video has that. You have some jerk that just, like I said, says what's wrong with the. It'll be a cute little video of a cat, rolling or purring and doing his little the little claw grabbing thing that he does when they're comfortable or whatever. You'll have somebody in there that says, "Oh yeah, your cat clearly has cancer and is gonna die tomorrow." Like, what?
Damn,
Hold on.
that escalated.
Like, TikTok makes me realize one of two things: how many morons there are out there, or how many bots there are out there. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Well, you got to remember, these could just be trolls, right?
Well, or trolls. How many trolls there are out there?
I liken it to just like most people are, or the most people who comment are trolls.
I don't think most people comment are
I
trolls.
think a lot of the
very large group that wants to talk to each other, and
they just make stuff up.
no, they want to earnestly talk to each other.
No. Those ones, I'm not counting those. I mean, like the comments that you dislike. I'm assuming most of those are trolls, not people.
Oh, probably.
Not people being stupid. Because
you know what though, there's an old saying, and I genuinely believe in it. Don't attribute something to malice that can be attributed to stupidity.
I also believe that saying, but not in the context of social media comments.
Well, maybe.
I feel like those are too targeted to be that. I agree with because like if somebody makes a mistake at work, it's usually from they made a mistake. It's not that they're trying to like ruin the company. It's very rare that that's actually the case. But if it's in the context of just like internet anonymity like that, oh yeah, you can have a lot of trolls, because this has been the case for decades now, right? In the old days, it was mostly trolls because there wasn't as much stupidity, you could say. Most of the time, it was trolls if they say something stupid.
I feel like trolls have a way of doing it, though.
Can you spot a troll? You know, that'd be a fascinating game to play.
I think there are website things where you can see if things are trolls or real or.
It's like a guessing game, though, right? It's like if I present you a comment from TikTok or wherever, and I ask you, is this troll or not? And then I know the answer, and you get to guess what you think. We should play that on the podcast. Let me make a note of that.
There is a spot it's called spotthetroll.org. Essentially, what it is you look at they pull profiles. I don't know if it's a random game or not.
So they like get real ones, right? Real comments.
Yeah. So they grab. I think it's just like I said. I don't think it's a persistent quiz. I think it's, and they kind of show you a Twitter profile or something, and you guess, is it a troll or is it legit?
Oh, based on the profile, not necessarily like some one individual comment. You can build a whole profile of the person in your head. That's nice. That's good.
Well, they give you a few.
I think it'd be more interesting if all comments, like let's say somebody says a comment, it's not anonymous to them, but it's anonymous to everybody else. So like all social media, you wouldn't be able to know who said what, but you would see the comments.
That would
be interesting. It wouldn't be good, but it would be interesting.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good.
Because you wouldn't be able to like go through and confirm that this person also said this, they're probably lying, they're a troll, blah, blah, blah. It would be fully anonymous, so you would have no idea if anything anybody said is actually true or sarcastic.
That is true. Very often I'll go through, when somebody says something stupid on Reddit, I'll go through their history and see.
And be like, this is a person to add to my list.
How seriously should I take this person? But again, it's hard to tell if they're a troll or not, or just stupid, because you go into their profile and they just say a lot of stupid things.
But they could just be a full-on troll, 100%.
Well, they might be. Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I think there's it's hard to tell. I mean, like I say, you assume everybody's a troll on the internet. I like to assume everybody's stupid on the internet. I just don't understand like why you'd go on the internet, why you'd spend your days, hours, why you'd spend any serious amount of time just posting rage bait on the internet.
Because you're lonely. There's no other reason. It's just because you're lonely.
But what is that? What does that fill, though?
It fills a void in your heart to have somebody raging at you.
My family. LOL, stupid tank, dumb moron. Just like my uncle.
I do think a lot of it is that. I think it's just people are genuinely lonely, and this is their horrible way of trying to cure that loneliness. Because it's the best they can do, I think. It's too scary to go out into the real world. We all know that. We're all afraid of human contact. And yet we all crave it.
I don't crave human contact.
Oh, look at you. Next thing you know, you're going to be rage baiting people on TikTok.
No, if I was going to bait people on TikTok, that would have started a long time ago.
Man, imagine you being one of those. Oh, the gold you would spit out.
Right now, I just kind of stick to calling stupid people stupid, or I guess trolls stupid.
Why don't you fight trolls with trolls, right? Like, why don't you become a troll, an undercover troll amongst
No, I
all
can't
of them?
do it.
Your principles are too high.
It has nothing to do with principles because they're not that high. It's because these trolls genuinely friggin' drive me up a wall. I am the target audience for. There are people, God bless them. There are people who will look at a rage bait post, comment whatever, and just brush it off. They're just like, whatever, just whatever. Me, not at all. I start seeing red. I gotta leave, block, or go in for the kill. That's it.
So hold on. Does every time you scroll through TikTok, do you look at the comments for every video?
No, not every video.
But what makes you look at the comments? I'm curious now about that.
I don't know. I just kind of like seeing what people think about things.
Because I do that too. I look at the comments sometimes.
I don't know. Just sometimes I go, let's look at the comments.
Are they thinking what I'm thinking is usually the idea. Or sometimes because I'm not hip, I have to look at the comments to understand what is this video about.
Well, yeah, sometimes I would say more often than not, that's probably what I have to do. But I don't know. Sometimes I like seeing what people think.
My least favorite thing about the comments, though, is sometimes I'll want to know what the movie is, or the TV show is, or the video game is. And I'll look at the comments and it says Call of Duty or Fortnite.
Those are the trolls I can just be like, okay, whatever. When people say, what game is this? And they'll say this, obviously not what game it is, and I'll be like, okay, whatever. This is annoying because I actually want to know.
Exactly, yeah. That's how I feel. And then you have to scroll more and more, and there's nobody who tells you the damn answer.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I want to see what people are saying, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I live on the troll, and I just have to be like, let's see. Let's go see what the trolls are saying.
Trolls can't live with them, can't live without them.
Listen, though, I will say sometimes, because sometimes, I'll watch, like, stand-up clips, right? Sometimes I will, especially in those situations, I'll go into the comments just to see what jackass said. Oh, this is supposed to be funny?
Oh, well, that happens every time, right? It has to. That's the obligatory remark.
But I have to go like, where is it? Let's find it. Let's find it. I don't know how TikTok does their comments, or how they sort their comments, but I like to see where it is.
You can like comments, right? There's a way to...
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's based on likes.
I'm not sure that it is, but it might be.
Maybe it's a mixture of like new comments so that they don't get lost right down at the bottom at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It is tricky though. Yeah, I mean, just think about how many comments are actually left on the more popular videos.
It's true. So sometimes I go looking out, or when they go, here's this blatantly illegal thing 34-time convicted felon Donald Trump did this week. I like to go into the TikTok comments and see how many bots are going, God bless Donald Trump, greatest president ever.
That's also obligatory. You have to have that. It has to be at least 5. They have to like cover.
But 98% of those, like probably more, 99.9% of those are clearly bots.
Because you actually go into the profiles, you confirm that, oh yeah, okay, this is just all bot messages.
I think it's hard to tell a TikTok bot, but you can just... Those are not real comments. Somebody's not posting on a TikTok video about how bad of a person Donald Trump is with God bless Donald Trump, greatest U.S. president ever.
They could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, they might be, but...
could be. You have to remember. You said yourself.
It's true. A lot of stupid people out there. One of the best George Carlin quotes ever. He was a great social commentary stand-up comedian. He always said, imagine how stupid the average person is, and then understand that half of them are dumber than that, are stupider than that. It's true. The average person is kind of out of touch, and half of them, by definition, are worse than that. To think that that's not bleeding into online forums and social media. But you're right, there are trolls and all that. But you gotta look out for it all.
Trolls make the world go round.
And they don't, but...
They make your world go round. I think it's like what Batman needs the Joker to live, really, if you think about it. Batman would probably kill himself without the Joker. The trolls are your Joker.
I mean, maybe. I don't know if the trolls are my Joker, but sometimes I hate seeing them, but other times it's like, I want to see them. I don't know why. Maybe I just like to see like, oh yeah, here's somebody spewing off shit that's worse than mine. I want to know that I'm not the worst.
I mean, come on. That's
I want to know it could get worse out there.
you got to start on your stream. You know how there's like streamers, the big ones who all they do is they just react to videos. You got to start doing that. Like spend a whole evening reacting to these people. Scroll through your
Oh, I'd get
favorite
banned.
TikToks. What do you mean you
I'd
get
get
banned?
banned.
Why?
I don't know. I'd feel like I'd get banned.
From Twitch?
Let me tell you, the amount of times where I've answered some stupid, ridiculous TikTok comment just for TikTok to instantly wipe mine out, and it's not even nearly as bad as what some other things are saying. I just go, I don't even understand.
What if you don't even like you don't have to reply to comments. I'm saying like you scroll through and you read the comments and you have your reaction. You scream and shout on the stream, and that's how you get out your rage instead of replying and having all that be deleted by TikTok. This way you can monetize the rage you have for all these trolls. It's wonderful. This is the best idea I think I've
But
had.
how do I know Twitch isn't going to come in and
But
go,
why would they? You see all those other popular streamers who all they do is they just react, or a lot of them just react, and that's it. I don't watch them, but I see how damn popular they are. On the sidebar, you see they have like 10,000 users, 10,000 viewers every time, at least.
you're right. But they've also made their name and all that.
Well, they did, but
Probably not doing that.
they did, but at the same time, you never know if that's maybe the thing that's like that was the catalyst. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
People like controversy, I think. People like to see highly opinionated people.
I hate just watching content though, because
You got to push through it.
no, because I feel it's like cheap views. You know what I mean? It's like taking somebody else's content and just being like, here, I'm going to make money on your shit. Like,
But you could argue that with video games, right? You're playing a video game that somebody else made, especially if it's like just a narratively driven one. I get it. Sometimes like you watch for the gameplay, but let's say it's like a walking simulator or something. That's basically just, anybody could be doing that.
yeah, but I think like YouTube videos or whatever are a little bit more intimately produced. I don't know.
They are, yeah, I agree. It's usually not a big corporation that's doing it as a precursor, but also just that there is no interaction, right? There's no gameplay there.
And I mean, there have been situations where actually there was one not that long ago. I don't remember what the specifics were, but there are situations where one of these guys will like overtake the discourse on something that's supposed to be like serious, and it kind of deflates the videos too. Like, it's okay if they're just scrolling through TikTok. I guess so, whatever. If they're just scrolling through TikTok and going, oh, look at that dog dance, whatever. But sometimes they'll like watch like more serious stuff and put in their knucklehead 2 cents. And because they have, 10,000 viewers, that's what the discourse of the video becomes.
Yeah, they make a mob. It's great.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want that? Wouldn't you want everybody to be protesting and with your head on a stick saying like, go Dustin, go Dustin, go.
Yep. I want people to mob for me.
Yeah. I think that's the dream of anybody, really.
That's the dream right there. Absolutely. You're 100% right.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I just like to play video games. I don't want to watch content with other people. I don't want to shout and get in arguments with people. Then you'll get people that come in and go, oh, you're an idiot. Okay, well, now I got to fight with you.
Wow, look at that. Now you got a spark in the chat. That's great.
Now we gotta fight live. I'd rather just stream video games and let people come into the chat
Be wholesome about everything.
and be wholesome about it.
Just play as a gorilla. Get some bananas, dye your fur, dress up a little girl sitting on your back. It's all good.
It was quite nice because I was playing Zenless Zone Zero this week on stream, and it was quite nice. I had a few people from come in and kick on the last day and just give me a bunch of little Easter egg things that I wouldn't have noticed, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh, just where to go in Zenless to get it?
No, not even where to go, but did you notice this?
Oh,
This
I
person's
see.
labeled this way, and here's why, and cool little bits of information that I wouldn't have noticed otherwise. That's what I like. I don't want to look at TikTok videos and then some joker come in and have to throw down with them. Playing video games, I don't have to throw down with people too much. Unless you're really big. Like I said, if you're really big, you got 10,000 people, your chat is scrolling so fast.
It doesn't even matter at that point. You're never going to get those good moments with 10,000 people chatting at the same time.
it's so much easier to, yeah, I guess 10,000. I mean, it's almost impossible. But even at like, a few hundred or 1,000 or something like that, it's easier to ignore the idiots. You can most certainly focus on the comments that you want to focus on. But when you don't have very many viewers, you kind of have to address.
Yeah, you don't want half your viewership to
You're
be.
expected to address like anything that pops up in there.
Well, I mean, you're not expected,
Not the
but
extreme like.
it'll be obvious if you don't.
Yeah, but people come to smaller streams because they want to interact. People go to big streams because they want to be part of the idiots who spam emojis, right? People go to the smaller streams because they actually want to like talk to the people they're there. So I mean, if you don't interact with them,
What good are you?
then that's not good. Obviously, there are extreme examples, but some people come in, earnestly. So yeah, I don't think I'm doing rage bait content anytime soon, or just watching content anytime soon.
There you go. Well, you heard it here first, listeners. Dustin is sticking to his guns.
I'm sticking to my guns that have not worked for me for 13 years, and that's how it's going to be.
But at least you got your principles.
Yeah, my principles that nobody sees. Anyways, Mighty Joe Young.
Yeah. See, we kept going on about animals and apes and gorillas. And finally, we can talk about Mighty Joe Young from 1998. And it is from 1998. It's not the older version. It's a movie about, it's a gorilla, right? I don't know. What is the difference between an ape and a gorilla? I know they're not monkeys, right? That's one thing. But what's the difference between an ape and a gorilla?
No idea.
I thought Donkey Kong was said to be an ape, but he's
Apes
not,
are
right?
Apes are species. Or like overarching species.
Okay, so our gorilla is a type of ape.
Probably.
Oh, I see. But yeah, Mighty Joe Young, it was an interesting movie. I don't think I've seen it before. I think I was mistaking it with another movie where there was also an ape. It was a talking ape, so that makes sense then that Mighty Joe Young was a different movie because he does not talk. He does not talk. This was a clear. Those movies in the old days where everything would have been solved with better communication. This was just a different way of representing that type of movie because they could have solved all their problems if Joe could just say what happened. Charlize Theron's like, oh, he's upset, he's anxious, he's not himself. He just couldn't tell her why he's upset, and that's what spawned all the problems. And also the fact that all this started was because Bill Paxton.
Well, not all the problems.
Bill Paxton is the reason for all of this taking place. If he just didn't go into the jungle, didn't hire the poachers in the first place, who then, they learned about Joe, all of this would have been avoided. They all would have lived happily ever after.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's very sad to me that, he's the ultimate villain in this, Bill Paxton.
No, he's not the ultimate villain. That's not true.
You don't think so?
That's not true. No. Of course not.
Anyway, so the movie starts.
Poacher was the ultimate villain. That was the ultimate villain.
The movie starts with we see Charlize Theron as a child. I forget what her name is. Jill. Her name is Jill. The character's name is Jill. She's a young girl. She's very friendly with a 6-month-old gorilla, Joe. And her mother dies. The ape's mother dies. And 12 years later, she's become like Tarzan with Joe.
Her mom dying was the stupidest thing.
Why? She had a gunshot wound in her kidney.
She got shot in her leg.
No, it was a kidney wound.
Oh, it was a kidney wound.
Yeah, she put her jacket over it.
For some reason, I thought it was her leg.
No, kidney, liver. That's a big area for Hollywood. They love killing people when they get shot there. Everything else is fair game, even though you'd be dead probably in all the other places too in real life.
Right.
But yeah, they love that. But it's tragic. It's tragic, and that's how they portray the fact that they're like, Jill and Joe, they're two peas in a pod because they both lost their mother on the same evening. Anyway, she got killed by the poachers when they were trying to get Joe for whatever reason. I don't actually know why they were trying to get him.
Well, because they're poachers. That's what they do.
Yeah, but why specifically him? Like, we want the young one. They kept going on about how, don't worry, we're not going to kill you.
Because you're not going to capture a big one in a burlap sack.
You could. I don't know. They got some big sacks out there.
By the way, Baby Joe Young was played by Vern Troyer.
Who's that?
He was Mini-Me in Austin
Powers. Oh, okay. Wait, so they didn't actually use a real ape?
No, there was no real apes in this movie.
Not a single one. I thought, man, they did a really good job training him to climb the Ferris wheel.
Costumes and animatronics.
Wow, yeah. That's impressive. That's even more impressive than training a real animal. Yeah, so she became Jill of the jungle. And For whatever reason, Bill Paxton comes in. He needs blood from a bunch of animals in the jungle, so he hires some poachers to help him. They end up meeting Joe in the wilderness when the poachers capture and refuse to let go a leopard that Bill Paxton bleeds dry. and Joe rescues the leopard by just shearing the steel cage, the roof of the steel cage off. Very impressive. He basically dismantles 3 of their vehicles, which is also very impressive. I don't know. I don't think that's. I mean, it's great that he could do that. I don't know how possible that is in real life. I don't know how feasible it is for an ape to be that strong.
I mean, well, first, I mean, two considerations. First of all, gorillas are insanely strong.
Okay, yeah, that's where the whole one gorilla versus 100 humans comes in. You're right. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Gorillas are insanely strong, but he was also not a normal gorilla. He was like 4 times bigger than a gorilla. So, I mean, I would think that the entire premise, like just right from Joe Young himself itself, is not realistic. Like, there's no such thing as these giant, massive apes like this guy in King Kong, or whatever. So I think you can play with the reality of the situation a bit more than expected.
I found it impressive when because one of the trucks had a chain, that they use for like towing in front, whatever, like pulling things out in front of them. And what he did was, because he got grabbed by the guy riding the other truck with the chain, he took the chain, and just as the other truck, the other truck that was careening towards him, he took the chain and he made it taut, so that it sheared the other truck it sheared the roof of the other truck. It was beautiful. He could have completely destroyed those humans, those poachers, and Bill Paxton. But thankfully, Bill Paxton survived. He's one of the main characters, so it's good. But I found that fascinating that he thought to do that. Again, very nice that there are gorillas out there that can think like humans, homicidally. But yeah, and then jarringly, Bill Paxton convinces Charlize Theron, Jill, to take Joe, now that he's basically told everybody in the jungle that, hey, here's Joe, this big ape, let's go poach him. Now that he has to convince her to get him the hell out of there and bring him to California, to a animal reserve. So they do that. He doesn't want to be kept in captivity, but he does. He stays there because he kind of gets settled in. But then at some point, the poachers from 12 years ago, they catch wind of what's happening there in California over the news, because they're actually running a ranch of their own, a conservatory of their own, where they trick people into giving their animals to them, and then they butcher them and get money. I don't know how they do that. That is a fascinating thing that they never explored. How do they make sure that the person who gives the animal is never suspicious about the fact that that animal is not there anymore? Wouldn't that reserve not have any animals if they're butchering all of them?
Probably convince them just not to show up again. Once they're in, they're in. It's not public. It's not public. Like, you give us your animal, and that's it.
But geez, that's really clever, don't you think? Like, if you were a poacher, wouldn't you do that?
I'm thinking that you're probably not going to get away with that for too long.
It's Botswana, though. It's like it's. I don't think Botswana has too many laws against that, do they?
Well, that's true.
They probably put themselves in a good legal gray area. But anyway, so enough about the poachers. Well, actually, no. The poachers come in. They rile up Joe because they have this thing, this keychain, horrendous-looking keychain. I don't know why they use that. I don't know. They use that at the beginning of the movie too, but they never explain what that is. Just a bunch of crap on a keychain, and it when they jingle it, when they jangle it, it sounds traumatizing.
I think it's just a noisemaker to drive. I think it's just it's only traumatizing to Joe because he knows what it was. But I think in general, it's just supposed to drive animals out.
In hindsight, they really should have just kept quiet. They made so much noise getting to the gorillas at the beginning. I think they would have been way better off just tranquilizing all of them from afar. Like, they could see them, right?
Yeah.
So and as a result, Joe gets riled up, and so this is what we alluded to before. He gets nervous and anxious, and Jill sees that, but she doesn't know what's going on. And she gets fooled by one of the poachers because she doesn't remember them really. So she gets fooled into being convinced eventually that, maybe she should take him to their reserve because he's not really happy here. He needs to go back into the bigger reserve. And then there was this benefit dinner. This is what set everything in motion. There was this benefit dinner where finally the poachers, they rile up Joe enough that he actually crashes out of his environment and he crashes the party. Literally, he destroys the tent. He injures 12 people. I found that like that was insane. He actually like stomps on somebody innocent. That was crazy. And then finally they tranquilize him and like they have to put him in solitary confinement and so on. And so in the end, they pull him out of there, like Jill, Bill Paxton, and the other people, because, they're convinced that, okay, these poachers are actually like, they're going to take him to a nice reserve. So they pull him out of there. Again, this lack of communication is the whole reason for this. They pull him out of there and they're finally driving away. And thankfully, the two helpers that work at the reserve, they bring out the lost and found that they're supposed to give back to the people after the party was crashed. And then they show like, oh man, we got to find those two people. And they bring out the noisemaker. And Bill Paxton's like, where'd you get that? That's a poacher item. And then he goes and drives after the truck that's transporting Joe. Because Jill is sitting in that truck with the poachers, unaware, completely unaware, oblivious. But then she catches on. She understands during the maybe like 10 minutes after they've left the reserve.
It's not that she understands. It's that the main poacher had his thumb and his finger bitten off. And that's when she finally saw.
Yeah, she understands it. She reunites with Bill Paxton before the truck crashes over because Joe is aware now that, oh yeah, something's wrong. So he crashes out, and this is where the King Kong bit starts. He's gallivanting all around the city. It's LA, so you got a lot of landmarks for him to visit, including the Hollywood sign. He jumps through the O. That was fun. And then they go to an amusement park. He climbs a Ferris wheel to save a child, a burning Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel tips over, and he protects the child, right? He lands hard on the ground. He protects the child. Jill rushes over, and he's dead. And then I'm thinking like, wow, that's a strong movie, strong ending, really touching. Saved the child. It's all like, it's tough. And then boom, he awakes. And man, this is where I thought, oh my God, this is where the focus group ruined it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would have been a stronger ending if he died.
Yep. I really thought he was actually, because like it was a minute or so that it took for him to wake up. They could have rolled the credits right there, or, like showed a fade to black and then show like a dedication to him or something in the reserve.
Yeah, I agree.
I do think that's a focus group thing though. I imagine that they had toyed probably with having him die, but then, obviously it's a kid's movie.
It was a focus group thing so much as it's a Disney movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
I don't think a Disney movie was going to kill off the hero. But yeah, I thought maybe it would have been a little bit stronger if he had died. I always find it, I don't know, in my opinion, I think endings that I prefer in these more realistic scenarios with kind of a exaggerated element is when you reset the world to the realistic scenario. I don't know. That's my preferred type of ending in these kind of things.
Because it's unexpected,
right? There's no giant apes, 10, 12 feet tall giant apes who are just super strong and rampaging around the world. So, like, my preferred ending is, like, reset it to, since this is the world we know, reset it to the world we know. I guess not always. I mean, you have to take it on the chin, but, I mean, the movie pretty much very easily could have been put that way.
What happens at the end of King Kong?
I have no idea. I've never seen King Kong.
Oh, okay. You should watch it.
Yeah.
You've probably seen so many parodies of it now. You don't actually know what the real thing is.
I know.
That's why I don't remember what the ending is, because I just remember the Simpsons parody of the King Kong movie.
I'm also thinking, like, realistically, you're not getting Joe back to Africa.
Well, that's the thing. He was never going to go back to Africa.
But he ended up going, like, wasn't that in Africa?
Oh, I see what you mean, because they had their own reserve. Yeah. They had their own reserve. Yeah, they got the money from.
And I'm thinking, like, because the boy pulled out friggin' 2 quarters. Like,
no, he had a bill. He had a bill in there. It was like $1,
whatever.
$2.
He pulled out a $1 bill.
Oh yeah, it's American currency. They can.
Here you. Oh,
it goes a long way in wherever in Africa they are.
That's what I was thinking during the entire movie. Like, I'm thinking, like, you're here now. This was a terrible decision. This wasn't like, we don't like it, we want to go back. Like, you don't understand how the world works. You're here now. There's no realistic situation where you're getting back to Africa with a giant fucking monkey. Like, nobody's letting you out of the country with this thing. Not in America.
Well, this was a simpler time.
Well, yeah, the 90s.
This was pre 9/11, so apes could travel without fearing for their rights.
But I'm like, you're not getting back to Africa, so that's another reason why I just like kill him off because you can't have it because it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better once this situation is over because he's in America now. You know, he's going to be tested on, and he's going to have exactly what happened during that entire movie for the rest of his life.
That's why that ending would have been good, because you smooth over all these plot points that would continue to happen after the movie ends.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. They managed to get him out of there. I guess it was nice.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad movie. I kind of enjoyed it. Like I
like the movie.
I'm usually like not a fan of, like I said before, animal movies, but they did a good job with this one where the animal was not obnoxious. He wasn't doing the stupid things that they get animals to do sometimes. Yeah, they did a really good job with the puppetry, because I really genuinely thought they did have a trained ape. With camera tricks, maybe they had a smaller one, obviously, but it's very impressive that they had a puppeteer.
Bring in the miniature gorillas.
No, but like, not however huge he was, but a more normal sized one. But you can always make props that are appropriately sized to make him look big.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever gonna see a movie like. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't think you're really gonna see a movie where they use real gorillas. Real gorillas are just like would be way too wildly unpredictable. Like I just don't think you'd get anybody who'd be like, yeah, we're gonna act with this gorilla. Like it's just not. It's not feasible. Like I said, gorillas are extremely powerful. That was actually the one thing that, one part of the movie that stood out to me. Like when they were breaking Joe out, she shot the guard with the trank. And I'm thinking like, this is a trank that's meant to bring down a 2,000 pound, 10-foot gorilla. A horse tranquilizer will fucking kill a human in a lot of cases. A 2,000 pound gorilla tranquilizer will turn his insides into mush. Like,
does it do that? It doesn't turn them into mush.
Know.
It just puts them to sleep.
I don't know.
And it could be a coma sleep.
I'm just saying, like the amount of chemical that you need to put down a 2,000 pound gorilla will kill this man instantly.
Well, Charlize Theron is a badass. She just doesn't care. Which, by the way, she played a more timid character than I expected. I'm used to seeing her playing somebody who's much more assertive, let's put it that way. She was assertive, but not nearly as much as she could have been. She did a good job, though, regardless.
Yeah.
And then Bill Paxton played a wonderful villain from the beginning.
No.
You have to admit, though, he's the reason for all this happening, right? If he just didn't want to get his blood from everybody.
I don't know. I'm not sure if he was a proper conservationist or not.
He was one for hire. He was a mercenary.
Because no, that's not what I mean. I don't know if he had good intentions or not, genuinely. There was a point in the movie where the one scientist said, you usually just drop him off and leave.
Yeah, he's more of like get the job done, go to the next job.
So I'm not sure if he was just really like, let's just grab him for our place. Nothing like, oh, I want to protect this guy. Just let's grab this giant gorilla for our...
I think he was swayed by Charlize Theron. When he saw Charlize Theron, he's like, I got to help this ape, instead of just grabbing him and taking him.
Well, no, because he wanted the ape. He was like, we got to go grab this guy. That's how he ran into her in the first place.
Yeah, but I just mean that originally he wanted to just grab the guy, but then once he saw her, he's like, I got to rescue this guy. He changed his tune, that's all. Ultimately, he wanted the ape one way or another.
Well, that's it. Okay, he changed his tune, but the result was the same. Like, he was getting the gorilla back to the United States.
Yeah, he got what he wanted. Bill Paxton is the winner. He's the ultimate villain in this. Like I said, you root for him without realizing that he's the villain.
I'm not calling him the villain, but I'm not entirely certain what his overall motives were.
Oh, from the beginning, you mean? Yes, okay. If you ignore Charlize Theron, what is his motive? I have no idea. I think he's a more complicated man than we give him credit for.
But overall, I thought it was a good movie, and had its funny bits, and it has serious bits, and I can see why I liked it when I was younger. So that being said, King of the Hill, this or Pump Up the Volume?
It's still Pump Up the Volume. Come on, you can't go wrong with Pump Up the Volume.
Well, you can, but all right, Pump Up the Volume, and I will stick mine to Ride Along.
Wow, really? Okay, I thought maybe this one would be like, yeah, childhood.
No, this one's not unseating it.
Awesome.
And it's time for our next movie, and I get to pick this one because you picked Joe Young.
Let's do it. Let's see what's next. Let's see what's next.
What do we got next?
This is gonna be so good. Whatever it is, it's going to be excellent. We've had nothing but gold in the last few.
Fat girl.
Yeah, let's do it. Is that 2 words or 1 word?
2 words.
2 words. What year?
It doesn't say. I assume this one. 2001.
2001. Oh, that's fantastic.
Is it French? Oh, it's
Coming of age drama written and directed by Catherine Breillat.
So it was originally called Amateur. Film's plot follows 2 young sisters as they deal with coming of age, sibling rivalry, and desire while on vacation with their family.
Yeah, the 2 other titles are For My Sister and Story of a Whale. I don't know how they got Fat Girl out of that. I guess it makes sense in some way. All right, good.
Well, it's got a pretty good review.
I mean, if it's a French movie, you can't really go wrong. They're good with their cinema. It's just maybe not the cinema that some people like.
Right. 12 and bears the weight of the world on her shoulders, watches her older sister, whom she loves and hates. 15, devilishly beautiful. Okay, so it's an ugly girl walking in the footsteps of an older, prettier sister. All right, we're the Fortnite.
So I have 2 words this time, both from Genshin, because we're back on Genshin Impact for all our wordly needs. The first word is schmooze. SCHMOOZE. It's a verb, and it means to chat in a friendly and persuasive manner, especially so as to gain favor, business, or connections. And my example is, I recently learned that conferences are all about schmoozing the attendees. The second one is portent, Portent. It's a noun, and it's something that foreshadows a coming event. And my example is, Nintendo's price increases is a portent of further price increases across the video game industry.
There you go. Both from Genshin Impact.
That's right.
The game that keeps on giving.
It's a dictionary. It's my Webster.
Well, on that note, we'll do a handful of Pokemon sounds. Do 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 do. So last season we voted on the best Pokemon, legendary Pokemon cry, and without knowing who they were. And this season we are learning who they all are. Here we go. Round 10 was between 52 and 77, and 52 lost that one, and this is 52. And that Pokemon is Deoxys.
That's the DNA Pokemon.
That is the DNA Pokemon, yep. And he just looks like a bunch of DNA strands.
I wonder how big he is. Oh, look, he's 5'7". That's frightening.
Average human.
To have a DNA strand that large.
I think it kind of makes sense, though, if it's... Well, I guess everything has DNA. I was going to say, if you think about it, if it's trying to represent, like, human DNA or something, it makes sense to kind of make it human-sized.
Does it represent human DNA?
I don't know. That's what I mean. But it's got 2 legs.
He's got different
forms.
His defense form looks ominous. That'd be scary.
So what's he from? He's from Gen 3, which is Ruby and Sapphire, Groudon, and Kyogre.
I know of him, but I've never seen him. I think, like, I've never used him or caught him or anything. I just know of him. Or her. It's genderless, so of it.
You had to get this a special way. Yeah, you had to get the ticket from being distributed at actual events. So he's one of those kind of Pokemon. That was the generation where they were all of a sudden like, we're going to throw a bunch of legendaries in, but you can only get them from like McDonald's or something like that, you know. Going to EB Games and connecting to the Wi-Fi and spinning on your head 3 times, and then somebody will come out of the storeroom and give you a code.
Those were the days. Man, those were the days.
That generation started that. It was not in the game anymore. It was after the fact. But a psychic Pokemon, yeah, he's the DNA Pokemon. And yeah, there's not much to say about him. But yeah, he's got 3 forms, which is pretty cool. The attack form, I feel like the attack form doesn't really look too good, but I think the other ones look kind of...
Speed form looks like a ballerina.
Very lithe. I don't know, was he in the animes at all?
Oh, probably, but I think past my time again. It was probably in the movie. They usually put these legendaries in movies. I think I actually remember one of the titles of a movie.
Destiny Deoxys. Is that a movie?
Probably. I just remember one of the movies had his name.
The second Pokemon the series Ruby and Sapphire movie. 7th movie overall. Anyway, so that was Deoxys, 52. Let's delete him. And he lost out to 77, who is this guy.
Oh, this is the muffled cough. Oh, this was beautiful. I remember this one. That's why he lost.
And this one belongs to Tornadus, which kind of makes sense. If you listen to the thing, like that kind of makes it does kind of sound like a storm.
Does it?
Like you can
Well,
kinda
the
hear
last
like
part,
maybe
but
that
the
last
first
bit
part
kind of
is
sounds like a downpour.
yeah, but the first part is still somebody coughing.
Well, yeah, fair
If you
enough.
just pause it right after the cough, it just sounds like somebody coughing.
Right. And let's see, what's Tornadoes? Gen 5.
He looks like a genie.
So black and white. He does look like a genie. He looks like a green genie on a storm cloud.
What are these forms, by the way?
Is that a tail?
Well, that's my question. Like, what are these forms? Apparently, yes, that is a tail. But his other form, like he has the incarnate form where he looks like a genie, and then he has the Therian form where he looks like a bird with a bra.
The second form activated by using the reveal glass. So yeah, some Pokemon have later on, different conditions for. They're not evolutions. There's temporary forms.
But this is beyond my time, I guess, right? It's, I guess, in the
Yeah.
black and white games.
Yeah, probably. I believe it probably started in black and white, and you just use it and change their form. Now I'm unclear if you can change it back because I don't really know anything about this Pokemon. He's another one. He's one of those. He's one of the Pokemon that have a bunch of them. So like the Reggie Pokemon or the birds or the dogs from Gen 1 and 2.
Oh, there's other ones.
This guy is part of the forces of nature, so I guess we'll see their friends later. Tornadus, Thunderous, Landorus, and Enamorus.
Enamorus. Oh, it's a love Pokemon.
And they're associated with another legendary Pokemon, Meloetta. Oh, he's also a roamer. All right, and this one's only found in Pokemon Black.
So you have to play both black and white to get everything. Well, we knew that, but I mean, in terms of even legendaries, you have to play both of them.
I think 1 was the only one where that wasn't true. Well, as soon as you get into gold and silver, right? Like
yeah,
gold can only get Ho-Oh.
You're right.
Silver can only get Lugia.
Because the ones on
right?
the covers are individualized.
Kyogre and Groudon. Yeah, so.
But even because this one's not on a cover or anything, right? I
Yeah,
would have
no,
thought that
Pokemon,
these would be, but I guess you're right. They wouldn't. Why would Game Freak do that? Why would they offer more than they had to?
That's right. Why would they do something that doesn't allow them to sell two versions of the exact same game? When I was young, when Blue and Red came out, it was pretty close to Christmas time, if I remember correctly. And I got Pokemon Blue, I think, first, but I got it before Christmas. And I remember asking for Pokemon Red for Christmas because I thought they were different games, right? And so I got it for Christmas, and I played it on Christmas in front of my dad or something. I don't remember. And I remember like getting an hour in or something like that, and I just went like, "This is the exact same game." I didn't understand the Pokemon differences, right? And my parents were so livid that they wasted their money.
Did you eventually figure it out that they are slightly different?
Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
It's all right. How many kids had both, right? I mean, come on. That was a
I
badge
thought
of
they were
honor.
different. In first generation, I thought they were different, and they just weren't. And then Nintendo just kept it up. And not only that, for the first few, they added a third one because why not? They don't add a third one anymore. Now they just do expansion packs, which are essentially the price of a whole other game. But that's the Nintendo model for you. Got to have two versions for some reason because they need money. I've seen so much discourse on social media with the new Nintendo Switch 2 pricing of games and all that and how they're higher, and like you just referenced in your Word of the Fortnite. And you always get people that come out of the woodworks in defense of the price increase. And just thinking about it, now, like Nintendo has, I'm not going to say always been scummy, but they've very often been scummy in new and innovative ways with pricing their games.
They've gotten very good at it. Yeah, they have a lot of experience in being scummy.
Or suing developers. What's the thing this week? They're suing, right? They're suing the Palworld developers, right? But this week they changed one of their patents right in the middle to make it a lot more ambiguous because it looked like they were losing the lawsuit. And I guess that's a common thing in Japan. So
just change the patent mid lawsuit.
Just change the.
That doesn't make any sense. That's awful.
Yeah, that is pretty awful. So I guess they did that this week, and so that's the news of the week for Nintendo. They're not a great company in terms of their business ethics, quite frankly.
I never thought they were.
Yeah, maybe not, but I think people thought they were better than their competition, and I don't think that's necessarily true. And I guess it goes all the way back to the early 90s with Pokemon Red and Blue selling the same game twice. There's zero reason for it. Absolutely zero reason for it. But they've been doing it for 30 plus years.
I
So
wonder whose brilliant idea that was. Like, who was the person who said, "Hey guys, let's make two versions"? Seriously, whoever did
why?
that?
What's the difference? Is like 6 Pokemon. Like,
Think about it. Whoever did that, that's a brilliant mind.
it was. It was
Heinous
genius.
mind, but
I
a
hope they made a
genius
ton of
mind.
money. I hope two things. I hope they made a ton of money, and I hope to burn it in hell. That's.
I would want to know. I'm curious if it's like one of the famous executives, or was it just some executive that nobody really knows, or even just like
Or was it
it's
just
just
the
a developer's
developer?
like, "Hey, I have this idea," and don't share this with management or anything. Because think about it, maybe it was just some innocent developer thinking like, "Oh, maybe this would be good." And we'll have like two versions, and you get both of them if you buy one.
Yeah, that's it. So that's Nintendo for you. All right, we'll do one more. Here we go. Round 11 was between 45 and 84. 84 lost. This is 84.
Yeah, I can see why it lost. It was pretty short.
Yep. And that Pokemon is Magierna,
Kind of sounds like the Law and Order sound effect.
which is a Gen 8 Pokemon, which is Ultra Sun and Moon. And it's like a robotic,
Oh, it's so cute.
it's like a robotic bunny maid.
Yeah, it's adorable though.
I can't imagine there's any Rule 34 about this Pokemon.
And its skirt looks like a Pokeball. It's adorable.
Oh, that's true. It does. It does look like an open Pokeball. Yeah.
It's a steel fairy. Wow. Very impressive.
Oh, it was the first Gen 7 Pokemon to be revealed to the public. It has a second form that's gold and red instead of just metallic gray.
So the metallic one is the basic one, is the one that you normally have?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I really like the one that's colored.
Yeah, I think it looks better colored. Yeah. The original color one was not available until Pokemon Home came out.
Its vivid coloring made the king's daughter very pleased with the gift. So apparently this was a gift from the king. As years went by, the paint on Magiarna's body decomposed, which is its standard appearance, where most of its body is silver. The paint decomposes. It's not actually like a skin color. It's not skin pigment. It's just paint.
This Pokemon is another one that's was only accessible through a QR code. But I guess actually, like, it doesn't seem to be like if you were to boot up Pokemon Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Moon now, it looks like you could scan the code and get it.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, it's so cute in the anime too. It's got little nubs for arms.
There you go. So this is a very nice Pokemon. Raji approves of this Pokemon.
Yeah.
Just not its sound effect.
Well, it's a bit too, I don't know why it's so simple. It could have had like a robotic attribute
Yeah, it
to
could
it.
have. They could have done better.
But it just sounds like the Law and Order sound effect. That's all.
It does, yeah. And it lost to 45, which is this guy.
Oh, this is where the classic
There it
started.
is, Raji.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, round 12 was between 60 and 69. 69 lost that one, and this is what he sounded like.
Oh, yeah, this is the drill.
That one's not a terrible
You're
one.
drilling into metal. This was clearly just drilling into metal.
Yep. And this one belonged to Xerneas, which is one of the cover Pokemon from Pokemon X and Y. This is the cover Pokemon for Pokemon X.
I like its antlers.
And it's kind of sort of shaped like an X.
No, it's not.
It kind of is, though.
Not
like
even if
it
you
were to-
squint. I think you're insane if you think it's shaped like an X.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be.
If you're drunk, maybe.
Which is probably why they added like the little chest crest.
The chest crest doesn't help.
Right, but if you looked at it like head on,
It's an A.
Yeah, but if you looked at it like head on,
I am looking at it head on.
it would have the two antlers that stick out, left and right up, and then you have the crest that kind of comes out at the bottom, left and right. So
No.
that's the. Listen, I'm just telling you, it's supposed to look like an X. So
Even the tree, apparently the Xerneas' dormant form, the tree of life, does not look like an X in my opinion.
take it up with Nintendo.
It's a deer. It's basically a deer with,
It is a deer.
eight antlers?
Yep, and it's got two forms, but it's really just coloring.
Why did they try to make them look like an X and a Y? What's the point of that? Just, it's fine. You don't have to make them look like the
Just
letters.
to go with the, I don't know, just to go with the thing. I don't know. And the one from Y is Evital. We'll talk about him later. He looks like a Y.
Anything can look like a Y or an X if you contort it enough.
So he's the title Pokemon in X. They made the legendaries a bigger deal in the, well, I guess from the second game on, right? It was only the first game where they didn't really make a big deal out of legendaries.
Oh, you mean part of the story, a big deal.
Yeah.
Like you're
It's like
forced
pretty
to
much you
interact with them.
can't, like there's a, yeah, like you can't miss them. Yeah.
Yeah, because in the first game, you don't have to touch any of those birds. And Mewtwo's post game, right?
Yeah, Mewtwo's post game, so you definitely don't have to touch him. And yeah, you're right. I think all the birds are on the side of the areas, but from 2 on, yeah, they're part of the story. So I don't remember how this guy's in the story. It's been a long time since I played X and Y. I was conflating this with Sword and Shield. This is the first 3D one. X and Y were the first 3D Pokemon.
They look magnificent, right?
It's a terrible decision. Terrible decision. Showed how great Game Freak is as a developer. But yeah, okay, so that's that Pokemon. Not much to say. And he lost to number 60, who sounds like this. And that Pokemon is Hoopa.
It's appropriate. The sound is appropriate. It's the Mischief Pokemon, the Jin Pokemon. It has hoops. It's very, very what I would expect. So props to them. They finally got one to look reasonable.
Raji approves.
Except his other form makes no sense now. Hoopa Unbound. There's Hoopa Confined and Hoopa Unbound.
Here's my question now. Does the other one have a different voice?
No, it probably sounds the same, even though he's so gruff in the other form.
Because he looks way different.
He's got like facial hair. He looks like, he looks like Ganon.
There usually isn't that big of a difference between the forms. Like it doesn't turn from a, most of these don't change from a small little trickster Pokemon into some giant friggin'
Multi-arm Rayman.
Pokemon of death.
Looks like Rayman.
Yeah, Rayman. Yeah, he's missing the arms. Yeah, just has his hands. Anyway, so this guy is a Physic Ghost mystical Pokemon from Gen 6, which is also X and Y, and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And I don't ever remember seeing him. So where do you get him from? Oh, an event. Yeah, why not?
Man, a lot of these legendaries are basically, how often are you actually going to get them?
Well, that's it. There's so many now, and there's the ways that you get them are so like stupid for a lot of them.
I'm not even a big fan of because I like the birds and some of the earlier generation legendaries, but in my opinion, like the ones that are in these new ones, first of all, they don't look that good, most of them, and I don't know, like are they actually like worthwhile? Let's say you're competing in a tournament. Would you even want to use any of these more recent legendaries? Are they good from a
I don't see too
stats
many of these
perspective?
guys in like tournaments and stuff.
Well, they might not be allowed. They have rules against certain Pokemon.
That's
but
true too. Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of these probably they don't look legendary to me. They just look like regular Pokemon. Oh, this thing's hiding in the grass over there.
Apparently, this one can summon other legendary Pokemon.
That's a bit overpowered, isn't it?
Through its hoop.
Oh, look at that. It's just summoning all the colors of the rainbow.
Yeah, its body can warp space and time to transport items, humans, and Pokemon by passing them through its hoops.
So I could just pass the opponent through its hoop into like the middle of nowhere and be done with it.
This thing's a pretty powerful Pokemon, honestly, this little guy. It can bend dimensions. Is he legendary now?
No, he's not, because that's just Game Freak being stupid.
That's why you can only get him through an event. I don't even know what event. It doesn't even say. It just says event.
So hold on. Does that mean it has an attack that if you use the attack, you get like a random legendary Pokemon on the field when you're fighting? Does he actually have that attack? Like, Rayquaza's on the field now.
Probably not, but okay, hold on. He can learn a move called Hyperspace Hole. Let me see. Hold on. Is that just a regular attack, or does it actually like bring something through?
That would be a cool attack if he could do that. And then for one attack, like it'll summon just a random legendary, and the legendary will do a random attack. But I don't have that much faith in Game Freak.
I don't know. Maybe it does, but just a quick look doesn't make it look like it's capable of that. And he went all the way to round 3. That's it. Oh no, he only went to round 2. He won the first round, lost the second round to a newcomer that we haven't listened to
It
yet.
wasn't spectacular. It was a regular sound effect.
But it does match him. It's good to see a voice that matches every once in a while. All right, so that's it. We're whittling the field slowly but surely. Bye, guys. Da-da-da-da.